Are you a woman standing at a crossroads, eager for change? It's time to connect with your authentic and empowered self at Boss Leap. Join Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker in this empowering community where real-life stories of courageous and talented women inspire and motivate. Engage in honest conversations that foster well-being, drawing from our own journeys. Let us guide you toward profound growth and transformation in both your personal and professional life. Here are your hosts, Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker.
Welcome back to Boss Leap. My name is Dr. Sylvia Morris, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Angela Walker. And today we are talking with Keisha Fullerton of Raiment. Keisha was raised among strong women and fueled by sketching before she ever learned to sew. Keisha Fullerton turned her creative spark into Raiment, a fashion brand that celebrates heritage, empowerment, and bold self-expression. In this episode, she shares how lineage, audacity, and self-care shape her journey as a designer. So, Angela,
yes,
what is your superpower?
It's interesting. I loved hers, and I guess we'll wait till she actually offers it in the segment.
Gotta listen.
You gotta listen. But I think one of the superpowers is just being able to empathize and be genuine with people. I tend to connect with people that way. And when she shared hers, I was like, yeah, I feel somewhat like kindred in that I do share a lot, but I listen and I feel like I can empathize with others, which is I'm grateful for. I'm kind of that moderator, the person in between that can hear both sides of an argument, not always agree with both sides of an argument, but have the capacity to understand where someone else is coming from. How about you?
I think my superpower is being present.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would say yes.
Being able to
in the moment.
just be there, be in the room. You know, they talk about be wherever you are.
Yes.
That's where you're supposed to be. So I have been quite intentional around being, and I enjoy just kind of being present and listening, as you mentioned, and being empathetic, but just being there.
And you sometimes say you don't have patience, but I think you're definitely present, but you can be patient with those that tend to follow the squirrels and the nut and the, So,
because I'm squirrel too sometimes.
So it is helpful that you remain present and engaged, particularly with me. So awesome. Well, we are so excited to share with you what Keisha Fullerton's superpower is. And without further ado, we'll get into the episode with Keisha Fullerton as she talks about her involvement with her brand, Raiment.
Welcome to Boss Leap. My name is Dr. Sylvia Morris, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Angela Walker. And today we are speaking with Keisha Fullerton of Raiment. Welcome to Boss Leap, Keisha.
Thank you for having me, ladies. I'm excited to speak with you both.
Yes, so excited to have you. And I've had the pleasure of meeting you on a couple of occasions now, and you tend to glow wherever you go. And certainly your style is bar none. So we're very, very happy to have you here and just to share your experiences with our audience. So we kind of usually, thank you. We usually get started with just kind of getting to know you. So maybe tell us where you grew up and how that shaped you in terms of your outlook on life, and perhaps if there was anything that you knew that you wanted to do when you were young.
Absolutely. So, I shared with you guys earlier before we started that my parents are from Jamaica. I grew up in New York, and then we moved to the South, probably like middle school for me, 13. Is that middle school? And I would say probably from a very young age, I knew, before I even knew how to sew a stitch, I knew that I wanted to design. I would like sketch things for my mom, like those would be her Mother's Day presents. Like, oh, I'm going to make you this
Oh,
dress
wow.
one day. And I would do sketches and then move to the South. And this was before all of the trend. Like now in Atlanta, you ask somebody where they're from and it's not Georgia, you know? When I moved, that was not the case. Like
Yeah.
I was the odd man out. I had this thick New York Jamaican accent and I kept getting like, what are you saying? And, I had to quickly adjust because it was completely different from what I was used to. Where I was in New York, we had Haitians on our block, Puerto Ricans,
Sure.
Jamaicans. It
Were
was,
you in Brooklyn? I'm
we were
just
in
going to
Queens.
presume.
We were in
Queens.
Queens.
Roselle,
Okay.
Queens.
Okay.
And, even where I went to school, I went to Catholic school. We just had everybody. It was a mix
Yeah.
of people. So to come to the South and have to adjust and,
That's
you know,
huge.
it was a little bit of a culture shock. And on top of that, my mother moved us like maybe 2 months left of school. So
Oh,
instead of
wow.
moving, like right where we would have started with this new school year, it would have been a little bit better. I wouldn't have been just the only new kid. I mean, literally it was like eyeballs on me like this.
Yes.
So it was a big adjustment, but I'm grateful for that because I had to get some tough skin very early. And my refuge was me sketching. Like that was my creative outlet. That was shutting
Nice.
out the world and just focusing on that. And I didn't know what it was called. I just knew that I liked to create. And it probably wasn't until I would say I was maybe 17, 18, where actually, no, my senior year of high school, I was in a commercial art class and the teacher my instructor, she kind of took me under her wing and directed me like, this is where I see you. You're good at this. And
Wow.
she helped me cultivate that. And then I've just been fortunate, like my mentor, who is like my family today, Daphnia Adams, she literally taught me how to sew when I was 19. Did not know how to do anything. And she took me under her wing. To this day, I can still call her up if I have a thought in my head and it's like I'm not executing it the way I think it should be. I'll call her and she'll say, okay, this is what you do. If I could be like a quadrant in her brain, I mean, I would be more amazing, I think, because she is bar none. Like she is fantastic the way her brain works. And I was just fortunate to be able to get under her tutelage, I guess, and learn. And then I went to college for it, of course, but
I was going to ask. So let's, you've given us so much, just in the first few minutes of our conversation, but let's go back. So when you finished high school, did you know that you wanted to go into fashion design and
I knew that
what
I
did you
wanted to do
study?
that. I
Okay. But
definitely
what
know
did your
that
parents say and how
so
did you
that's what I was gonna
navigate
say.
that?
I have Jamaican parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm Jamaican parents. So it's like, no, that's not, you don't go to school for that.
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Exactly. Exactly that. So I ended up listening to the parents. I applied for FIT. My mom said to me, no, you need to be closer to home. Really want to go there. Like submitted my portfolio, but this is everything like God's timing. It was not meant for me to be there.
Fashion Institute of Technology.
Correct. In New York.
Okay.
In New York.
And I ended up going to Georgia State.
Okay.
And did 2 years there. And then I decided this is not what I want to do. And I remember having the conversation with my dad in the kitchen, like, I'm going to transfer. And he was not very happy about it, but I had to do it for me because I knew if I stayed at Georgia State, I was not going to graduate. And that would have been a giant waste of money, and time, Again, grateful for my experiences there because some of those friendships, some of those relationships that I established there, I still have now to this day. And it just, for me, it's all about God's timing because
Where did you transfer to?
I transferred to, I think, American Intercontinental University. I don't even know if it still exists anymore. It was kind of like a barter back then. It was Atlanta's version of an FIT. And that's where I ended up going to study and graduating from. And it's funny, I didn't go into fashion right away after graduating from college. I got pregnant with my daughter my senior year of college, and
Okay.
grateful that I was still able to finish,
Yeah.
even though I was told I was not going to. But even that, like, you tell me I can't do something, I'm like, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I did. And I have an amazing daughter from it now. And she's like one of my biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I would say I was about, so Z was my daughter. She was maybe about 3 or 4 when I got my first opportunity in fashion with a celebrity stylist, Tamika Foster Raymond. And that
Like
opened the
Usher.
door.
Usher.
Pardon?
Like Usher. As
Yes.
in Usher.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm just, yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
That opened a whole different avenue for me. So she initially hired me to help her with her clothing line.
But how did you get connected to her? How did you find the grit or the perseverance to create that opportunity? Because that just
God,
doesn't fall out of the
I
sky.
didn't create it. No, God created it for sure for me because I did a photo shoot. I created this collection. I did a photo shoot it was my first collection.
Okay.
And the photographer that I hired, he was working for Wolf Camera. I don't even think that still exists anymore.
Oh, I remember
And
them. Yeah.
she got in there. She was getting some pictures developed and they started speaking. And they'd say people mentioning your names in rooms that you're not in.
Yes.
He did that for me. And he showed her some of my pictures
Your
and
work.
he's like, I need to meet her.
Wow.
We met
Nice.
at Lenox Mall at California Pizza
course.
Kitchen. And we sat together for like 3 hours talking and
Okay.
we instantly gelled and that's where it started. And it was to help her originally to start her clothing line. I would sketch things out for her. Then her assistant at the time didn't work out. So she's like, well, kind of need a new assistant.
Okay.
Basically telling me this is what you're going to do. You're going to still help me do the line and you're going to be my assistant. And I got to work with her on some great projects like Usher's 8701 album. I think that's when she first started working with him, like just helping her make calls to different showrooms to get clothing and just being able to see the quality of the products that we were getting in. It just started having my mind work in a different way. How watching her merchandise looks together, putting things together, certain colors together. So although I had that design background, being able to actually utilize some of those things working in that space with her definitely was a shift for me. And I worked with her for like 4.5, 5 years. Again, that's still one of the relationships I have to this day. And again, everything is just timing and you speak
How
things.
did you know that you needed to transition from being sort of the assistant, and it sounds like you were like designer with her, to moving forward and moving in making your next leap?
It came down to just, I was working so much for her, like a lot of late hours, and I had a small child. And it was taking up a lot. And it just came to a point where I had to choose, like she had help with with her boys.
Yes.
I would help with her,
And you
kids.
were the help too. Sorry, not
Right.
saying it
And
in that manner, but yes.
yeah, I mean, that was the reality. And I just had to make a choice for me and what I was, my valuing my family. And that was the other shift. I had a conversation with someone. They spoke my name again in a room I was not in. And I got into wholesale, repping other designer lines. And that's what I've been doing in conjunction with building my brand for the last, now this is over 2 decades.
So we want to, so sorry to interrupt you, but that is definitely where I want to lead you in terms of telling us about Raiment.
Yes.
And I understand you've talked about how the legacy and lineage of your grandmother, mother, and aunts that are also seamstresses, if I'm correct, how that ties into your brand.
So as I said, I always knew that I wanted to be a designer. And I remember like my paternal grandmother, my mother,
Mhm.
my father's mother.
Uh-huh.
We would go to Jamaica every summer. And
Mhm.
part of the summer we would spend in Kingston with her. And she had this big machine, sewing machine. This is before I knew about fashion, anything like this.
Mhm.
I was surrounded by it. So like, I
Mhm.
don't know if it was a subliminal thing. My aunt in Jamaica also, she had a whole, like she had clients that would come to the house. They had this huge house in Jamaica. She had a whole sewing room downstairs in her house. We would always be playing in there.
Mhm.
So I was always surrounded by it before I even knew in my mind that that's what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And
Mhm.
my grandmother had such a great sense of style.
Mhm.
She could go into a department. Think about it. They had back then, she had 4 kids that she was raising on one salary. My grandfather was a police commissioner. So
Oh, wow.
Okay.
she was a stay-at-home mom. She would
Mhm.
go into something, department store, and see something and be able to recreate
Make
it,
it. Wow.
you know? And I would hear this growing up all the time. Even as an older woman, like
Mhm.
she still would sit on the porch with her pearls on and she would have on her house coat. And it would
Yeah.
be like, I have pictures of her and like, it would just be to someone else, they would see it just as a house coat, but I'm
Mhm.
looking at the print in it. Oh, how can I recreate that? You know,
Yeah.
my mom to this day, she dresses for church. She would change for first service and second service.
Yeah.
She would literally be in the garage, like
Love it.
Love it.
making her new outfit. She
Wow.
Does
loves
she
to look
still
nice.
wear stockings and does she wear gloves?
Yes. No, she wears socks. She doesn't do the gloves, but she still wears
Okay.
Where's
stockings.
the
It could be
stockings?
hot as
Nice.
Hades outside and she's wearing stockings. So I've always been around women that like they just had their own sense of style. So I was immersed in it and
Mhm.
didn't start coming together until I realized, okay, this is what I want to do. You know,
Yes.
like now when I create things, you know, how I pay like homage to them, you know,
Mhm.
like there's a Viola dress on the collection. That was my grandmother's name, Esme Viola. There's a top, you know, I try to name things after like beautiful parts. I mean, the whole island is beautiful, but like when you go to
Yeah.
the north coast of the island, you know, there's like Morant Bay, you know, there's 7 Mile, the 7 Mile, all of
Mhm.
the northern side. It's like all of these kind of touristy places, but like if you live there, you know, that's your
Mhm.
everyday. So I really try to take some of that and kind of infuse it into the brand because that keeps me like just a reminder of where my family comes from.
Mhm.
Even when I didn't realize that that thing for me, that was
Mhm.
my plan. That was what I was
Mhm.
supposed to do.
Can
Do
you
you
talk
feel
a
like
little
oh,
bit
go ahead.
about kind of clothing and fashion and what it represents?
Mhm.
So to me, when we moved to Georgia, I was, remember, I had to wear a uniform. I went to Catholic school. So there was not, I had weekend clothes, but you know, these kids, they had the latest, greatest. And I have a single mom. I didn't have the latest and greatest. And I
Right.
literally was made fun of for those things.
Mm.
And I always knew that I wanted to me, like when you look good, you feel good and you feel like you can
Yes.
conquer anything. It's like when we get our
Yes.
hair done, you know, like it's like the hair toss and, you know, you feel like you're a whole different person. To me, that's what clothing is. That's what getting dressed is. When I've made stuff for people, like I used to do a lot of custom. That's how I started. And when someone puts on a piece of my clothing and they
Mhm.
feel like that sense of confidence, because
Mhm.
I didn't grow up with that, right? I knew that I had a gift. You know, it's not curing cancer, but it's a feeling. It's a
Mm.
feeling
Yes.
that you get when you put something on and you feel like you are the Queen of England, you know? And
Mhm.
that's every time I create a collection, that's what I go into it thinking like I want the person wearing it to feel like they're most confident, they're most empowered. That's what I honor with Raiment.
And when I see your pieces, that's actually kind of what I think is just empowered women. Do you have like a brand idea in terms of what your entire collections are? Is each collection a different side of you and it may be a different style that you would, classify it as? Or
I would like to,
how
I
would you
always say
define
that
it?
I take classic pieces and
Mhm.
it's just like the top that I have on today. I love pin tucks. I love pleating. I love
Yes.
fabric manipulation. So I always want to take something simple and make it greater than it is. And to me, that you can do that with fabric manipulation. You can do that with a print. I design a lot of my own prints and it always stems. It can be, I was walking with my niece outside yesterday and there's like these little stink bugs that's all over New York. But
Yeah.
I'm seeing a dead one on the concrete and I'm like, oh my God, look at the pattern of that. I'm taking pictures of because I want to think about how I can recreate this in a silk or how can I use this in cotton. That's just how my mind.
Creative.
Each season is just different. It starts with an idea. It could be something as simple as a flower or a stink bug. I think that's what they're called, but it looks like a moth. Think of like a moth combined
Yeah,
with a
I know what you're
butterfly.
talking about. Yes.
It
Yeah.
looks like that. And I literally just take an image and I build around that. And I always want the person, I like some of the trendy things, but I'll take maybe an idea of it. It could be a sleeve, like with this. I'm sorry, you can't really see it. But this,
Beautiful.
it
Yes.
has like this pin tuck. And this was just literally a freestyle. But even how you see how the stripes are, these are miter.
Yes.
I made it this way because all this is a cotton shirt. But I manipulated it to be, to me, greater than what it is. So an average person may just see, oh, I'm just going to make the stripes are going to go this way. I'm always thinking about how I can kind of up the ante.
Yeah. I see that in your work.
Yeah,
Cute.
definitely the tailoring and the
Yeah.
attention to detail is lovely. I was going through your website and there were quite a few things that I pinned and put in my cart, but I need to
Yes.
sit tight for a moment. When you talk about certainly your fashion is, I would call it audacious. And so what does being audacious mean to you and how do you build that into Raiment?
So that campaign that you're speaking, the audacious, I was listening to another podcast and
It
you
was
know,
Boss Leap, I hope.
It's
Next
okay.
time.
I am now listening to it. It was Emma Grede she was interviewing someone.
Yes.
Right now I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs. I listen to a lot of women who took something and like kind of what you guys are building, like
Yes.
because it makes me think if they can do it, I can do it. It's not like, oh, a crab in a barrel mentality for me ever.
Yes.
If I'm always one to uplift people and like celebrate people. And when I was listening to their interview, they were speaking on like to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur in this day and age, you have to be a little off. You have to be a little crazy. And that's where the audaciousness comes from. Because if you don't believe that you can build this thing that no one else sees, not even you see it yet, because
Right.
it's not in front of you, right?
Yes.
It's so parallel to having faith
Yes.
because that's what faith is. It's
Truly is. Right.
believing something that is not seen. And to me, that's what audaciousness is. As an entrepreneur, you have to have that kind of like, come hook or crook, this is happening.
Yep.
And that shift happened for me because I've worked for someone for 2 decades of my life and I love what I do. I'm very good at what I do. And I built these relationships and it's always been, okay, I've always done raiment on the side. I've been building this brand for as long as I've worked for my company. It was always, my dad called it my side hustle, my hobby. And the last conversation he and I had about it, he was like, how long are you going to make this be a hobby? And it was
Love
like,
Dad. Yes.
hold on a second now.
Yeah.
This is
Call to
not a
action.
hobby. Yeah, but I'm grateful for that conversation because it allowed me to not just do this on the side, even though I still have my full-time job. I mean, the reality is my full-time position, it's funding this. It's funding my dream. So
Right.
for the long I can do this, I will, because I'm still in that creative space. I'm still in the fashion space. I'm
It's
still
aligned with what you're doing, right?
exactly. And the relationships that I've built in working in wholesale has allowed me to pivot into some of these same companies buy Raiment now.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yes.
it's just everything in timing. I could have said, "Oh, I should have been doing this 20 years ago." But if I had tried it
We
years
don't
ago,
should on
Yeah.
Boss Sleep. Should is a
Yes.
dirty word.
see?
You
So
would,
it's like
yeah.
everything happens when it's supposed to.
Right.
Everything happens
You-
when it's supposed to. And for me, taking the step into saying, "You know what? Thanks, Dad, for that conversation," because I decided then I'm going to hire so that it's not a conflict. Because that was a big part of my hesitancy was, if I do this, then is it going to affect my 9 to 5? And then you get afraid because it's like, oh my God, where's my money going to come from? Right.
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 And because I had the relationships that I had, the first showroom that repped my brand is also someone that I've known for over 2 decades. They've known always that I've had Raiment, and they believed in me as well. And they said, you know what? I approached them. I said, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I can't do it myself because I'm still working for this company. And it was like, no questions asked. Yes. And it's just, everything has been relationships since then. Everything that I've been able to pull from has been the relationships that I've had. So all of like you said, there's no should. All of the experiences that I've had have gotten me to this point. And it doesn't matter if I think in my brain, oh, I could have. No, you're doing it now. You're taking steps now, and it's growing. It's like slow and steady, but I will take slow and steady.
And I mean, I think we've heard a lot. Obviously, this is such good and rich information, particularly for somebody that has maybe been doing a hobby or what they call a side hustle. But I think part of, and not to say someone can't be successful doing something completely different than, what they've been doing, but you've been doing it in alignment with something that's your passion all along. So Raiment, you've been working in an industry that is aligned with Raiment, but you've had your own dream, and continuing to pursue your own dream when other people actually can't see it, I think is a common thread amongst entrepreneurs that, ultimately become successful and continue in that line of work, is just continuing to work one step in front of the other. Your journey may not be as fast as the person next to you, but building relationships and working hard and doing good work, but having that pure intent of producing something that's really special for someone.
That's the thing. And that's where the audacity is. It's like
Yes.
being my tagline for it now is like audacity over everything. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be delusional, and it doesn't matter if you're doing something,
Yes.
doing something in that space. It's just an idea. Everything starts as an idea.
Yes.
Everything starts as an idea. And there's always going to be that person. We are our own worst critics, because if I listen if I had listened to all of the crazy in my head, I wouldn't have made the steps, And if I had listened to anybody else, if I had listened to my dad saying, oh, this is just a hobby,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made the steps. And sometimes, you can share things with people. You have to be very mindful of that. You have to be very aware of who you're sharing your dreams with, because
Yes.
it could be even your own family sometimes will be naysayers. So sometimes we really have to hold things close to the vest
Yes.
and just watch me. That's all I can say.
I can
watch
show
the
you better than
actions.
I can tell you.
Exactly. Exactly. And for me, I'm so grateful because, even to meet you, like Chandra has been a part of, our family forever now. And I wouldn't have met you had I not known her. And she even mentioned it to me before. She's like, I spoke to her about this. Again,
Yes.
it's people surrounding yourself with people who will uplift you.
Yes.
Again,
That's the key.
I say it probably 3 times in this conversation. People who will mention your name in rooms that you are not in.
Yeah.
That is important. You know, so many of us have this, not us on this call, but so many women have this kind of, if I give this information, then,
She might.
it's information. It's
Right.
not gonna hurt you to share.
Hmm.
Well, it led me to create this, kind of like an e-guide. I did it on my staycation this past July. Just sharing my experiences as an entrepreneur in the wholesale design space. I would so many women coming to me, even men coming to me asking, okay, how do I do this, this, this? And just as I'm talking to you now, I would just have conversation with them. Oh, have you tried this? This is what I did. This is the person that I spoke to. And I was
And
giving
where
this
can they
information.
find the
Find that
e-guide?
e-guide. Exactly.
So it is going to drop on 9/25, so next week.
Oh,
Okay.
oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Well,
Okay.
perfect
Perfect
timing.
timing.
It's gonna be online, and then
And the name of it?
it's called From Studio to Storefront, a guide for emerging fashion designers. So
Beautiful.
just to help people, because I made so many missteps, not mistakes, but missteps that cost time and money. And it's things that I wish that I had known going into developing a collection. And then if people want more information, then they can, kind of sit down with me. But it's literally kind of like a step by step. It doesn't give you all the sauce, but it gives you enough to get started and to like get your mind working, the questions to ask, what to seek when you are trying to develop everything. And to me, it doesn't necessarily just align with fashion. It could be for anything, because it's a big part of it is research and knowing and relationships and how to kind of create that for yourself in that space.
Yeah. And
Can
that's
you
so
kinda
beautiful. I'm just going to add, I am here. I told you at the beginning, at the onset, I'm in New York. So I have this weird background behind me. And I just happened to be invited to this conference, Sisters in Sales. And it's just a testament to how powerful we can be as a community. This happens to be a community of women, a community of women of color in particular here, but they're all in the same field. I was grateful to be invited, and all the information that I've gleaned has been invaluable. But to see these women that are all basically they're competitors, they're in the same field of sales, but they're working together, they're networking with each other, and ultimately they're lifting each other up. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. That's the key. If we can have that mentality, then we'll see, more women that are succeeding in all of these
Absolutely.
fields. So yeah, we
You think
thank you for
about
that.
however many other communities do that, and that's why they're so much
Yeah.
further ahead in some areas. I think
Yes.
we did that, like you said, as a collective more regularly, share information more regularly. It would not seem impossible to so many people because,
Yes.
like I said, everything starts with an idea, and it could be a simple conversation that shifts you to get you started. Why not encourage somebody? Why not encourage somebody to do something outside of their norm, just because that may not be your lane?
Yeah.
Why not encourage someone or even offer? You never know what someone is going through on a daily basis, what their internal, conversations are with themselves. And it could take one
comment.
conversation to shift
Yes.
that for them.
Yes. Absolutely.
And however, for me, I always look at it like, if I could just help one person, because I've had so many people help me along my path. I didn't do this myself. I've had so many people help me, and I cannot be here and not pay that forward.
Beautiful.
So along those lines, if you can go back to your 19-year-old self, what would you say to her?
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way.
Way. Wow.
Because again, we all have our internal conversations with ourselves about why, woulda, shoulda, coulda, or, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. Get out of your own way. Sometimes you got to do the thing. I did the thing that scared me the most is starting something that I didn't know where the money was coming from. There's times where I'm producing a collection now and I'm like, how am I paying for this?
Yeah.
And I tell you, he always works it
God
out.
provides.
He does.
He always works it out. So
Mhm.
it's like, get out of your own space. Like, if you believe it,
Yes.
that's
You
all
can
it
dream
takes.
it, you can do it. Yes, that's my philosophy. Absolutely. So I know you have this ebook, and we're definitely want to put that in our show notes, and we'll make sure that we lead people to that.
Thank
But can
you.
you tell us maybe a little bit of advice that you would give to the person who right now may be considering a career in fashion, like maybe
So
some words of wisdom?
if I was speaking, like, I'm thinking of like people going into college, definitely find a mentor ASAP. It doesn't have to be exactly what, the field that you're thinking of, but within that realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding someone that you can shadow and that you can learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Take every single free course. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have access to AI,
Mm-hmm.
when I was 19 years old. There's so many things that you can find or prompt it to show you whether,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know how to sketch yet. For me, I knew how to sketch, but I didn't know how to sew. So if you want to design and you know that you want to be the best dressmaker, okay, let me shadow someone that's already doing that. And maybe start with the hardest thing, because then everything after that is going to
Mm-hmm.
be like, I could do this in my sleep, you know? Definitely having those conversations with people that are in that area, because they will help you. And then you get in that space and you see how things work. You may pivot to something else like, oh, wow, I don't want to make the dresses. I want to create the pattern for the dresses. But
Mm-hmm.
that way you're seeing everything so that you can kind of learn every single thing about your craft. Like, do it to where you literally are dreaming about it.
Yeah.
That is what I would say to anyone that's wanting to get into it. Immerse yourself in the community of it. Immerse yourself in all the nuances of it, and just be a sponge. Learn as much as you can, because it's only going to benefit you down the line. Everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place.
So
What do you
curious to
enjoy
you.
most?
Pardon?
What do you enjoy most about fashion design?
I enjoy having the idea of creating something and then seeing the finished product, and then seeing the person in it
Uh,
and them being their best selves because of how they feel in it.
Hmm.
That's the best part to me. The best part is being able, like I said, I was that kid that I didn't have the best of the best. And I know what that did for my confidence.
Yeah.
And I also know what it feels like to feel amazing and
mhm.
look amazing, and
Mhm.
what that does for you. I want to pour into that side of it for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to take a step back to what you were just talking about in terms of finding a mentor. And I, like you, I think probably maybe the interview you're referring to, Emma Grede, was on Mel Robbins, which was a fantastic interview. But that was the first time I'd actually heard her entire story. But one of the things I found interesting is that it wasn't necessarily a mentorship, but the fact that she knew she wanted to be in the fashion industry, but just couldn't get in the door. And
Mhm.
so she worked all along
The
while she was
thing.
trying to get there. She did jobs as a
Wait, so
bartender
she's the
in a
woman
clothing
from
store.
Skims who
Yes.
partnered with
Yes,
the
yes,
Kardashian, the
yes,
British
Well, Good
woman.
American is
Okay,
her,
yes.
all
She's
right,
her
got like
baby. Yes.
all right.
$3 billion businesses.
Okay.
But yeah, just a fantastic interview and life story that she had. But one of the things she mentioned is that she worked as and you would probably be able to speak to this better, Keisha, in fashion shows,
Creating
building the
the
stage,
backdrops.
creating the
Mhm.
backdrops and taking it down. So she was in the space with all of these people, but not necessarily working right beside them, but they saw how hard she worked all along, but she did that a lot of things for free.
Yes.
She was doing that for free. She was working her full-time job, but because she knew she wanted to be in this industry, she found a way to actually be in the room, but not necessarily getting paid for that part of it. I think the value that I heard out of that is that, especially for young people, is that, when they hear, do an internship or
They're like, is it
an
paid?
apprentice.
Mhm.
That's the first thing.
Right.
And, that's valid. That's real. I get that part. But perhaps you can
Experience, though,
find a way. Exactly.
cannot
Find
put
a
a
way
price
to
on
still
experience.
pay your bill. Yeah. So I was curious how you felt about that.
I mean, for me, like I said, I mean, I'm still working. I work a job that is more than 9 to 5. I'm probably,
Definitely.
like last month, I could count 9 days I was actually in my house, but it's a means to an end because I know that I'm going to be at the helm of running my own brand on a full-time basis soon.
Say that again.
I'm going to be
Yes.
able to not have to do both,
Yes.
basically. And I know I'm working towards that. And I think, young people, it's different from our generation in the sense of,
Yes.
you put your time in, you have to work this. And granted, their experience is a little bit different now. You don't
It
have to be
was.
someplace. It's rare that somebody is at a company for more than 5 years before they
That's
shift,
right.
right?
That's right.
I feel like I'm an anomaly being with Trina for this long, but I'm grateful because it's allowed me to build my relationships. And that's the other thing. It's like the networking part of it,
Yes.
I feel like social media and like, this phone culture that these younger, I mean, we even have it. We're always on our phones too, but more so than we know how to have conversation.
Conversation.
Right.
And
They're
when we're in a
texting.
space
Yes.
where we're with other people, ask questions because you
Right.
never know
Yes.
someone does or who they may know. And it's not that
Right.
you're doing that to get that, but that's how it starts. That
And be
makes you-
polite and respectful, and on time and
Yes.
showing up. Everything is meaningful. And those little
Yes.
things that you do that speak to who your character is and who you are as a person, that's the thing that people are
will
reminded
see
of.
and they will
Absolutely.
see that and they'll want to go to bat for you. They'll
Mhm.
want to speak up for you if an opportunity comes. And, it could be between you and 3 other people, but because you have a relationship with that person and they know your work ethic,
They know
that
you're right.
puts you apart from everybody else. And I think, this kind of fast, we want everything fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta pay your dues. We pay our dues with certain things as well, and I don't think I don't know, I shouldn't say all, because I feel like there's some that get it because they have people like us around them that are, like, pouring that into,
Yes.
and they have to make their own way from what we share,
Right.
you know?
That's right.
But it's having the conversations first to kind of guide you, and I like I said, I never shy away from speaking to anyone about you can ask me anything. I'm probably too transparent, but that's my superpower. So, some people may think of it as a weakness. I think of it as my superpower. I'm gonna be 50 this year. And
Welcome to the club.
Join the club.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm looking
Welcome.
forward to it because
It's glorious.
Fantastic.
so many things, like you asked that question, what would I tell my 19-year-old self? Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way, because we put so many just boundaries on ourselves sometimes just
Yes.
because of how we were raised. Like I said, I have Jamaican parents and it was like, oh, you want to do fashion? What is fashion? No, you go to school and you go to school for business. You go to school for to be a lawyer, a
Right.
doctor,
Yes.
we allow sometimes our immediate space, because what we're comfortable with, to kind of dictate our steps. And as soon as it clicked for me, like I said, I went to a school I didn't want to go to for 2 years. And then it clicked and I said, no, I'm not doing this for you, because at the end of the day, I have to wake up with me every day and I have to be happy with what I'm doing,
How about that?
Yeah.
So to be from there to now and to have that understanding about myself and appreciate that about myself.
Yes.
I mean,
Beautiful.
you can't pay for that.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Every we talk here on Boss Leap about, your boss leaps, which you've certainly made from, like maybe one lily pad to the next. And sometimes it's the things that we realize that we don't want that helps us move to that next step. So going to Georgia State for the 2 years actually kind of made it crystal clear that no, this is
It's not my path.
not my path. Yeah. So sometimes, I don't think there are any mistakes that we've necessarily made. It's just as long as you learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you have the goal, I would say that to a young person too. Just always keep your eye on what the end goal is. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the emotion of it all. You have to separate that. You have to focus on what it is you want and how you're going to achieve it. For me, on a daily basis, that is what I have to do to build my company. I have to focus on because it's very clear. I see it very clear. I see myself in a building that I own. I see a creative space where I'm doing my photo shoots. I see another space where I actually have my own manufacturing, where I'm housing my fabrics.
Yes.
Everything is going to be in one. Yes, I'm still going to kind of outsource certain things. Like, you're not always going to be able to find certain fabrics locally, but I want that to be surrounded, immersed in it on a daily basis. And I see that very clearly. Like, I see it so clear, like I'm sick with like just the anticipation of it.
Touch it. Yeah.
So it's like that to me
it is done.
It is done. That is the audaciousness.
We hear that.
Yes. We can
Thank you.
feel
That
it.
is the audaciousness.
We can feel it. Yeah.
That it's going to happen. And I don't care what anybody says. It could take me 2 more years, 3 more years. It's happening. And
Due time.
I have to remind myself every day of the small wins. I'm like, this is my 3rd collection. We're in the middle of shipping my fall winter 2025 collection. And like I said, every season, I don't know how I'm doing it, but it happens. And every season, not just from me, but from the buyers that buy the collection, from the showrooms that rep my brand, here it's gotten better and better. And my voice is very clear. What I want to do is very clear. And I'm listening to me a lot more, because fashion is, just like with prints. Prints are very personal. I could create something and that might not be your colors, or it may be triggering. Whatever the case may be, not everything is going to be for everyone, but I always try to stay true to where I want the brand to go. Like I said, it's a feeling. As long as I'm focusing on how I want you to feel when you are in this. You have that favorite jacket. That color looks amazing on you. You have that favorite piece that you're always going to be your go-to. That is what I want Raiment to be. They have that favorite dress or that favorite top, because it gives them that feeling of like, okay, I'm conquering the world today. That's it. That is the feeling. So as long as I stay true to that, everything else is going to fall into place. I can't design for everybody. I'm not going to have something for everybody, but that's okay. Who I am for, I will be for. That's it.
I'm a fan. So, and as Sylvia mentioned, you already got some items in her bucket. So in her basket. So.
Awesome. I appreciate the support, man. And that's the thing too. It's like this past July, I hired another showroom representation. So I have the Southeast covered.
That's progress. That's fantastic.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic. And now I have the Southwest.
Can I ask you, Keisha, sorry, for our audience to understand, when you said you hired a showroom, explain that.
Yes. So with the collection, in order for me to be in specialty boutiques, I am not in any major department store. I do not want to be. Specialty means mom and pop, right? So like here in Atlanta, there's Tulipano, that's off Peachtree Street. They are carrying the brand. They've been big supporters for me for a long time. So I have kind of a showroom is my agent, you would say.
Got it.
That will take my collection of samples, and they showcase it to the stores. And we showcase at markets. We bring the collection to you physically in the store so you can see it. We send you line sheets and you buy from that. You're buying wholesale for your store. So now with me hiring another agent in another region, which is the Southwest, I now have access to boutiques in Texas, Louisiana, like that whole side. So that helps me as a brand because that's going to help me grow faster with my minimums. It helps me with costing because I'm able to produce more because I have not one person selling for me. I have two people selling for me. That gets my reach out further.
Okay.
So just being able, again, that's the relationships that I've built because most companies, I'm not a multi-million-dollar brand yet, but
love it.
A lot of these showrooms, that's what they want. They want you to have XYZ in sales already. And because they believe in the collection, they believe in me, they've been willing to support. And it's been a win-win because now we're in some great stores. Like I said, slow and steady. I'll take being in my mind, I said when I started, I want to be in 170 stores throughout the Southeast. I think right now, in the last 3 years, we have consistently been in a little over 30 stores. Now the trajectory is going up. Now we have, just with this past 2 shows, we've gotten into 10 more stores. So, and it's not like rinky-dink boutiques. These are boutiques that carry lines from Veronica Beard or like high-end contemporary brands. I am in the same space as that.
Beautiful. As you should be. Yeah.
Thank you. Some of my biggest supporters, like I said, Tulipano here in Georgia, the fitting room here in Georgia, she's been a great supporter of me from day one. We have Peacock's Plume in North Carolina. We just got into Asby's I think they're in Texas. So the Rebecca and companies like Monkey of Greenville. I'm just trying to like name some of them because they've been such great supporters of the brand and they've been selling it well. So yes, they're supporting me, but they wouldn't keep coming back if it didn't do well for them. So I'm grateful for this space, everything in God's timing, because I don't know that I would have been able to establish this prior to now, So I'm very grateful.
One last comment on Raiment, because we want to talk about how you take care of yourself, but it's very clear that the reason why people want to have your product in their stores is, number one, the passion that you bring to your designs. But I can also speak to the quality of what you put in your designs, because each of those, and I'm going to call them creases because that's not the right word. Pintucks that you had, your daughter, happened to see the beautiful garment that you made for her at the wedding that we all attended. And just the detail and the quality. It reminded me of going into, my mom's favorite store when I was growing up was Lord & Taylor. I knew if I was going to Lord & Taylor, I was going to get something really, really nice back then.
I received that. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it was like, okay, this is special. This is quality. This is something you're going to put in your closet and it will be in there, forever. So
let me just tell you, Sylvia, you didn't get to see it in person, but my daughter,
gorgeous,
is she's a fashionista in her own. Our aesthetics are a little bit different. So when she showed me the original of what she wanted, I was like, you're going to pay that for this? Okay. She's like, well, can you make it for me? She's so particular. I was nervous because I haven't made this young person something since she was maybe 3 or 4.
Oh.
So for her to commission me to do it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I had in my mind how I wanted it to look. And it started to go that way. And I said, you know what? Nope. I'm going to give her exactly what she wants so she can't say anything.
Yes.
She let me have my creative process. There were certain things that I added to it that were of, Raiment, because I'm not going to copy somebody exactly.
Sure.
But she was so happy to wear it. And when I tell you, this girl was feeling herself at this wedding, she was feeling herself. And that is the confidence that I'm talking about. That is
Yes.
how I want women to feel when they're wearing my things. And to just see it on my daughter. And I mean, she's beautiful naturally, but she looks great. You could tell she felt great.
Yes.
And it was just kind of reinforcing for me. This is why you do what
that's right. And I'm doing the right thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And do you do other kind of commission pieces just as part
I do.
of?
I just need time because I travel so much. You tell me you want something, I could definitely work. And I want to get more into that space. I want to get back into that because when I'm designing now, I have to think for the masses like, oh, I got to put a sleeve on that because this person doesn't want to show their arms. You know, can be too low because it has to be bra friendly. When I'm able to do certain things for people, we sit down together. Like I used to do a lot of prom dresses back in the day. And that became a headache because mom wants one thing who's paying for it. And then the daughter wants another. And it's like sometimes the two didn't meet in the middle and it just caused more stress than, but I miss that. That was the other thing about designing that garment for Z. It was like, okay, I'm back in my creative bag in that sense where it's like one of one, you know, and I love to do that for people. So yes, if you want something,
Good to know.
Okay.
let me know
I'm
what's
gonna
in
put
your
a pin in
basket.
that.
Let me know what's in your basket.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to see, and then maybe I can send you something. Both of you.
Oh, very sweet. That'd be amazing.
So certainly you wear a lot of hats. You're an entrepreneur. You're still, doing
I'm
your
a
day
social media
job.
manager. I'm shipping and
all-
logistics. I'm accounting.
all
All
of
of
the
it.
things. Absolutely. How do you practice self-care? How do you refill your cup?
I don't know. Can you give me some pointers? Because maybe that's why I'm so tired all the time. You know what? Working out, like I said, I'm turning 50 here. I'm very grateful that every day God give me life. I'm very excited. But for me, of course, with getting older, it's all of these changes. And working out for me is how I pour back into me. It keeps me sane. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. It helps me practice discipline. So that's part of my self-care. Even something as simple as going and get my lashes. Like that's self-care to me because I always say I want to feel like a human today, and that's part of it to me is doing those little things that make you feel pretty. I can look good in what I'm putting on. I have that space covered. But I don't know how to do my own hair all the time myself. I don't know how to do my own lashes. So that's I make time for those things. But like working out, I would say definitely has been the biggest thing for me as far as self-care because I want to be here for a long time. There's a lot that I still want to do. And I feel like the things that we can control, do that. I can't control, someone else driving stupid, and that causing me harm, but I can control what I put into my body. I can control how I'm treating my body so that I can help preserve what I've been gifted. So for us to be here is a gift, not everybody gets that every day. So that's how I pour into me. I need to do other things. I feel like some massages might be good. I keep saying that I need to start incorporating that more. There's a lot of things.
Put that,
yes,
pencil
it's on
that
the
into
list.
yours. Good. Wonderful. Well, it sounds like you are. I mean, you are taking good care of yourself when you can. So we hope that you get to do more of maybe the massages and other things. Yes. Wonderful. Well, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you for taking out time. We know you're traveling all around and getting your line, and it's constant work on your part. So we're very grateful and honored that you took out time to be with us today. And we're certainly supporters, and, let us know however we can help support you. And definitely in our show notes, we will put down your ebook, but also however we can contact you. So if you'd like to, as we part, if you have anything else you want to say to our audience that's listening, but certainly how they can reach you and how they can view your beautiful products and purchase as well. And buy.
Absolutely. The website is House of Raiment, RAI, period, MENT, .com. On social, I'm at Raiment, RAI.MENT. And same thing on TikTok. You can definitely reach out to me there. We have new collections that are just dropped this month. So this is autumn winter 2025. And there's something to me for everyone. I have the ebook dropping next week on the 25th. It's From Studio to Storefront, a guide for emerging fashion designers, and just sharing my experiences and how I can help others in that space. But definitely check out the website if you haven't already. I definitely always try to put things on my Instagram page to kind of showcase what pieces are important for that
Your
delivery.
Instagram is
Yes.
fire. And
Yes.
what sizes? We didn't talk about,
So
I'm a little curvy. Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like I have something for everyone. Our sizes are either extra small through 2XL, which would equate to a 0 to a 16. And we are true to size. And as you asked, I do custom things. You just have to commission me early so we have time. Don't call me next week and ask for a dress that Saturday.
I'm going to Paris
for
in 2
the
weeks.
gala.
I need something. Okay.
Yes.
Now I could put some looks together for you for sure, because that's also something I love to do, is to help women take things that they already own and tweak it, whether we're adding, little small pieces to it, a new top or a new sweater. I love doing that. Like, that makes me so happy because you're looking at the same clothes all the time. And to me, it's a canvas. So just learning how to kind of mix and match things that you already own. And that's kind of what Raiment is also. It's a capsule. It's pieces to kind of elevate what you already own.
Mm. Well, Keisha, you are speaking to the right person, Miss Dr. Morris here. She didn't know she was going to hear all this today, but I may have to shut this down. Otherwise, we may not have the budget to continue to do Boss Leap.
Exactly.
So we are so excited for you and look forward to the rocket ship that's going to take off for you from here. And as you are at the helm of Raiment and doing it all on your own and all of the rooms that you envision, we see that for you as well. And until we meet again, yes, may you be well.
Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you ladies, and kudos to what you guys are building. And yes, I am now listening to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thought of this week. Listen, anything that helps us, I'm about it. So I am also a fan of yours and what you guys are doing. I'm excited to see who else you guys interview coming up. So kudos to you both as well.
If you ever get the bent ear of Emma Greed, you let us know.
Listen, you and I both.
We can do a panel. Yeah.
You and I both.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Safe travels home to you, Angela.
Thank you, dear. Bye.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Sylvia, that was such an awesome. I think we connect with style. And so we were excited that Keisha was going to come on and talk about her line, but just learning about the woman and, what is behind the person and the brand is oftentimes for me is a reason for me to actually connect with that brand. So learning about the person and what they've been through, their experiences, what they believe in. But yeah, I can certainly speak to the quality of the clothing that she produces. But I think she clearly represented the passion that's behind it.
Yes. And it makes me want to buy her clothes. It's like I went through the website and now I'm okay, all these things in my in basket. And now you know the why and the inspiration around the line. And you just want to support her and her audacity and her vision. Yeah. So definitely.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any pearls that you want to share? I can give you some of mine. How about I go first?
Okay.
I loved the fact that Audacity was kind of the name of a line. I like where it just shows me there's intention behind what she does. And so some of the garments are named after, things that from Jamaica
Like,
or
and Viola,
and from her
her
family. Yes,
family.
yeah, and that leads to women influences in her life that she, gives credit to. And, again, that common thread of the one person, so her teacher in, I think was it high school? That
She
showed
was
her,
17.
you have a gift, and this is, sometimes we just think, "Oh, okay, everybody's doing it, but you hear that one voice and it turns something on in you. So again, just a reminder when we see that in someone else, whether it's a child or a young adult or a friend that's in her 50s, is that, you have this gift and this is something you want to do, go for it.
Don't just say
Sometimes
it to yourself,
right.
say it to the
To the person, exactly. And then the last part, which I was inspired by, is we didn't know that she has an ebook coming out,
Yeah.
and the impetus behind it was completely in line with, our book, the game plan, A Woman's Guide to Becoming a Doctor and Living a Life in Medicine. And we sat down and said, we'd love to just give someone that's, at the stage that we wish we had somebody maybe pour into us that had the knowledge to give us to make maybe our lives a little easier or show us, other
Not make
paths.
those same missteps, as
Mistakes.
you call it.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
mistakes,
but
missteps. I
missteps.
like that.
But love that she wanted to just to be able to share. And what she said is that, why would I keep this to myself as if I share this, then someone's going to become more successful than me. It's like that crab mentality. If you follow
Mhm.
that, your whole life. So I love this space that we're in of being collaborative,
Yeah.
and lifting other women up. And so that's what I got from that. How about you?
Yes, there were so many things that she said that really resonated with me.
Hmm.
Certainly one of my favorite expressions is everything is a relationship.
Hmm.
And she brought that home for us as well.
Hmm.
All the little things that you do, all the people that you meet,
Yes.
how you interact, all of those things are building a relationship. And
Yes.
you never know. It's not as if you are intentionally trying to do things so that you get something on the other side, but it is about being true to your own sense of integrity, your sense of how you want to present yourself in the world.
Hmm.
And that goes into the relationship. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And then she talked about feeling like a human
Mm.
today.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel like a human today?
Hmm.
Certainly, I feel human when I put on perfume. I wear perfume every day.
Uh-huh.
I wear one type of perfume until the entire bottle is empty, and then I move
Really?
on to the next. Yeah, so
I did not know that.
I typically only have one bottle of perfume on my counter. I have 2 this time because there's one that I don't like as much, but I'm determined to use it, and I gotta
'Cause you bought
layer
it.
it. Yeah, exactly. We gotta
Yeah.
finish that. And then finally, when she talked about clothing as confidence,
Mhm.
I always think about, "Well, what am I going to wear?"
Yeah.
And even for all of our podcast taping, we hope you are
Yes.
seeing us on YouTube and you are being a subscriber. Now,
Yes.
I am thoughtful about, okay, well, what am I going to wear? What's the color
Absolutely.
going to be?
Yeah.
Are there earrings? What's my lipstick? And
You've got the
certainly,
earrings.
yes.
I
Thank
love
you.
them today,
Hair
girl.
up, yes. But that confidence
Mhm.
helps to move me forward in all of my endeavors.
Yeah.
So
It's an
beauty
expression
and
of yourself.
clothing,
Yeah.
yes, is
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah. Agree with everything. So what a beautiful episode. It
Mhm.
definitely filled me, as I end this week in New York and seeing all the fashion, and certainly at a conference where women are like dressed to the T and we have such
Mhm.
style. So I'm very grateful for being here with you and for our audience. And we hope that you will connect with us in all facets, but you can, number one, reach us at Boss Leap, LEAP, podcast.com. And you can leave us a message, any ideas that you have for the shows, any anything that you'd like to share with us. We hope that you will listen, like, and certainly subscribe on YouTube. You can leave comments for us there as well. And we're just grateful for you. Hope that you are learning something. Certainly hope that you will share with someone in your life that might inspire. You never know who you are speaking life into when you share something positive. So hope that you would consider that. And until we meet again, may you be well.
May you be well.
That's a wrap on another episode of Boss Leap. May this conversation enlighten your path toward personal growth and professional empowerment. For more thought-provoking and eye-opening discussions like this one, head to our website at bossleappodcast.com. Always remember to celebrate your wins and trust yourself. A positive mindset can push you out of your comfort zone and into far greater heights. Until next time, may you be well.
Before we go, there's one more thing the lawyers have asked us to include. You know, it's the legal language, and you know how doctors love lawyers. This podcast is presented only for educational and entertainment purposes. Although we are doctors, on this show, we are just your friends. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Understood? Awesome. We'll see you in the next episode.